Little Heroes Academy, The Mystery of the Missing Crystals. Welcome to Amaris Creation, where imagination comes alive. Today, we're diving into an exciting story from the Little Heroes Academy. Get ready to meet some incredible kids with amazing powers. Are you ready? Let's go! Once upon a time, in a colorful, bustling city, there was a special school called Little Heroes Academy. This wasn't an ordinary school, it was a place where children with superpowers learned to use their abilities to help others. At the academy, kids learned how to control their powers, work together, and solve problems. Our story begins with three friends, Alex, Bella, and Max. Alex had the power to move objects with his mind. Bella could run faster than anyone else in the world. Max could make himself invisible whenever he wanted. One sunny morning, the three friends arrived at the academy, excited for another day of training. As they walked to their classroom, they noticed something strange. The school's hallways were filled with worried whispers, and the teachers looked very concerned. "What's going on?" asked Alex. "I don't know, but we should find out," said Bella, her eyes wide with curiosity. Max nodded in agreement. "Let's ask Mrs. Willow. She always knows what's happening." They found Mrs. Willow, their kind and wise teacher, in her office. She looked up as they entered, her face lighting up with relief. "Oh, Alex, Bella, Max. I'm so glad to see you," she said. "Something terrible has happened. The school's special power crystals have gone missing." The kids gasped. The power crystals were what made the Little Heroes Academy so special. They were magical stones that helped the students enhance their powers. "Who could have taken them?" asked Alex, feeling a knot of worry in his stomach. "We don't know," replied Mrs. Willow. "But without the crystals, the academy can't function properly. We need your help to find them." Bella stepped forward, her eyes filled with determination. "We'll do whatever it takes, Mrs. Willow. We won't let you down." The three friends quickly set off to investigate. They decided to start by checking the places where the crystals were usually kept. The first stop was the school's power room, a large, sparkling chamber filled with glowing equipment. As they entered, they saw that the crystal holders were empty. Alex used his telekinetic powers to lift up some fallen pieces of equipment, looking for clues. Bella zipped around the room at super speed, checking every corner. Max turned invisible to get a closer look at some suspicious shadows. Suddenly, Bella stopped in her tracks. "Look at this," she said, holding up a small, shiny piece of cloth. Max reappeared beside her, examining the cloth. "This doesn't belong to anyone at the academy," he said. "It must have been left by the thief." Alex nodded. "Let's take this to Mrs. Willow. Maybe she can tell us more." Mrs. Willow examined the cloth carefully. "This is very unusual," she said. "It looks like it came from a cloak. And not just any cloak, one that's enchanted. Whoever took the crystals must have some kind of magical powers." The friends exchanged worried glances. "Do you know anyone who could do this?" asked Max. Mrs. Willow thought for a moment. "There is one person. Dr. Shadow. He was once a student here, but he turned to dark magic and was expelled." "Dr. Shadow," repeated Alex. "He must be behind this." "But where can we find him?" asked Bella, eager to get moving. "He has a secret hideout," said Mrs. Willow. "But it's dangerous. You must be very careful. Here, take this map. It will guide you there." With the map in hand, the three friends set off on their journey. They traveled through dense forests, crossed bubbling streams, and climbed steep hills. Along the way, they faced various challenges that tested their powers and their friendship. At one point, they reached a wide river with no bridge. Bella ran back and forth at lightning speed, creating a path of stepping stones for her friends. Later, they encountered a thick fog that made it impossible to see. Max turned invisible and scouted ahead, guiding Alex and Bella through the mist. Finally, they arrived at a dark, eerie cave marked on the map as Dr. Shadow's hideout. The entrance was covered with thorny vines, and strange noises echoed from within. "Are you ready?" asked Alex, trying to keep his voice steady. "We can do this," said Bella confidently. Max nodded, his face set with determination. "Let's go." Inside the cave, they moved cautiously, their eyes adjusting to the dim light. They followed the sound of Dr. Shadow's sinister laughter until they reached a large, shadowy chamber. There, standing beside a table filled with the stolen crystals, was Dr. Shadow himself. He was tall and menacing, with a flowing black cloak and eyes that gleamed with malice. Well, he sneered. "If it isn't the little heroes. Come to take back your precious crystals." "We won't let you get away with this," shouted Alex. Dr. Shadow laughed. "You think you can stop me? You're just children." "Maybe, but we're not alone," said Bella, glancing at her friends. "We have each other, and we're stronger together." Max nodded. "And we know what you're afraid of." Dr. Shadow's smile faltered. "What do you mean?" "You're afraid of the light," said Alex, raising his hand. "And we have plenty of that." Working together, the friends combined their powers. Alex lifted some of the crystals into the air with his mind, making them glow brightly. Bella ran around the room at super speed, creating a dazzling trail of light. Max used his invisibility to sneak up on Dr. Shadow and grab his cloak, pulling it off and exposing him to the light. Dr. Shadow shrieked and tried to shield his eyes, but it was too late. The bright light weakened him, and he stumbled back, dropping to his knees. "You may have won this time," he growled, "but I'll be back." With a final burst of energy, Dr. Shadow disappeared into a puff of smoke, leaving the crystals behind. The friends cheered and gathered up the crystals, feeling proud and relieved. They made their way back to the academy, where Mrs. Willow and the other teachers were waiting anxiously. When the friends returned with the crystals, the entire school erupted in cheers. Mrs. Willow hugged them tightly, tears of joy in her eyes. "You did it!" she exclaimed. "You saved the academy." "We couldn't have done it without each other," said Bella, smiling at her friends. "That's right," said Max, "we make a great team." Alex nodded. "And we're always ready for another adventure." From that day on, the three friends were known as the heroes of the Little Heroes Academy. They continued to learn, grow, and help others, knowing that together, they could overcome any challenge. Thank you for joining us on this exciting adventure. Remember, you can be a hero too, just like Alex, Bella, and Max. Stay tuned for more amazing stories from Amaris Creation. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. See you next time.